And there we go. The music ended, so I figured I would just cut away. That doesn't time out anymore just because of the way this system works. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got a light audience today, but I do say welcome everyone to today's show. Today I will be talking about, let me get rid of this. Hit record here and go live on Instagram. Give that a shot. We'll be live everywhere momentarily. I am now live on Instagram. So thank you all for being here. Let's do this. This is the StreamTEK channel, and today we will be talking about the RGBlink MiniPro. And that is this box right here. It's backwards here. Let me go this way. That is this. I can dim my front light a little bit. There you go. It is this mini switcher right here. It comes in this box. And today we will be talking about the MiniPro. But as always, any questions you have, you can throw them into the comments. I have the comments right in front of me so I can see all your comments. And this is a user-driven show. So if you have questions, and they don't have to be related to this switcher. Anything related to streaming, I will try and answer. If I don't know, I'll tell you. And if I do know, I'll try and answer it. And I will do my best to explain what is going on and what we're doing. But this is new to me. I just opened it today. So we'll be walking through this a little bit together, unboxing, talking about the inputs and the rather unique design of this little switcher in front of me. Right now, I always love to know where everyone is watching from today. We've already had people chime in from Kenai, Alaska. I was in Alaska just a couple weeks ago. You guys should start having fall there pretty soon, right? It's mid-September already. Good morning from Pico Riviera, California. Thank you again. These are, I'm reversed now, regular viewers in California, and we had Alfred in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much for tuning in from Kenya. And so if you haven't already chimed in, please let me know where you're watching from today. This is a worldwide show, and this is why we love streaming, is because anyone has the ability to put together a program like this using minimal hardware and deliver a polished show. I have tweaked all of my audio this week over previous weeks, so do let me know if it sounds good, if it's over modulating. I did a test record before the show and it sounded good there, so we should have good levels throughout. I'm running a gate and a limiter through the ATEM into everything else, so should be good. Should be nice and loud. We did have one comment, and then also, like I said, any streaming questions you may have, put them in the comments. Doesn't have to be related to this. Could be YOLO box related. Could be OBSBot related. Could be ATEM related. Could be camera related. Microphone related. Streaming content delivery network related. PTZ related. NDI related. Do all those things. And speaking of NDI, you can always find more information about NDI at Streaming Media Magazine. I did a bunch of articles about NDI for Streaming Media Magazine. And if you are watching on LinkedIn or Twitch or Instagram, I think that's all the other ones, or Facebook, do know that I do have a YouTube channel. And this is the primary repository for all of the videos, is the YouTube channel. And that is the place if you want to see old shows, if you want to just come over here and use this little search icon right here, and you can scroll through and you can get all kinds of, like the TriCaster, if you want to find out, we did some studio tours and I'll be doing more of those in the future. The difference between VHF, UHF, 900 megahertz, AVX, and 2.4 gigahertz microphones. Which one's best? If you know me, you know the answer to that question. Come down here. Free iPad apps for doing live Switch streaming video. We also highlight different people in our conversation series, and all of this is available on the YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And hey, do me a solid and find a video you like and you share it on your social media. Also, if you want other information, know when things are going on, we have the StreamTEK page on Facebook. And then also, for that app that I had mentioned, AirMix, I created a group, an unofficial group on Facebook, so that people can share tips, tricks, suggestions, complain about what doesn't work, because it's orphaned and it's not supported. So if it is broke, it ain't going to be fixed. But maybe there's a workaround. That's what we can do, is we can support each other. Like I said, you can also find me on streamingmedia.com. I write for Streaming Media Producer and have a regular column going there. If you need consulting, you can go stream for us, stream4.us. There's a contact me page right up there. And lastly, I have set up a Patreon right here. You can just search for Anthony Barocas, which is me. So that's to help support StreamTEK if you feel so inclined. So with that, let's get back to different things that are coming in. McGee's Academy of Arts and Sciences says, are there any streaming devices that a smartphone can connect to wirelessly, as was the case with Sling Studio? Yes. You can connect wirelessly over the local area network. I'm assuming you mean over the local area network. That wasn't stated specifically here, because it's a twofold answer. If you have a YOLO box, you can connect wirelessly, but the remote device, which can be a phone, has to go through the internet as a remote connection, which creates more of a delay, and all the different sources are not going to be in time with each other. If you have a Magewell Director Mini, yes, I think it's just the Magewell Director Mini. I don't know if this was also available on the OBSBot Talent. They share the same hardware, but they don't share the same feature set. I do believe that the phone camera is not available on the OBSBot, but the OBSBot is going to be tied more directly into their cameras, one of which I have ready for today's show. But on the Magewell Director Mini, which just recently had a price drop, you can use the Magewell Director app, and you can connect 3 phones wirelessly over the local area network. Or if you're really in a pinch, you could actually share the Wi-Fi from the Director Mini and have the phones connect to the Director Mini. Although I haven't really tried that. I always work through an infrastructure, and on the YouTube site, I actually have a video about 7 tips for mobile wireless success, mobile multicam success. Let's go back over here. So that video right there, mobile multicam success. Those are 7 rules that I have there. And those rules come from years of working with AirMix and Switcher Studio. And those apps use mobile devices, iPhones or Android, to connect to an iPad app for switching multiple cameras, doing titles, graphics, picture-in-picture, everything. All done through mobile devices and streamed directly or recorded. And so that's a lot of hard-earned knowledge right there in that mobile multicam success video right there. And the first rule 1 is bring your own Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi, your separate Wi-Fi just for your cameras is critical. So as was the case with Sling Studio. And then, of course, like I says, if you don't want to use hardware and you already have iPads, this AirMix app right here, right over there in the second column, AirMix is an app available for iPad. It's actually several years old, so you don't need the latest hardware to use it because it was made before the latest hardware came out. So you can have, devices that are 5 years old. That's what that app was made for, or those are the tools that were available when that app was made. So you can connect a lot. I don't even know what the top number is, but I've connected, I think, 5 or 6 different devices to that app. Again, depending upon the capability and the robustness of your Wi-Fi network, you can just use an iPad app and iPhone and Android handsets with AirMix, and AirMix is free. Teradek made AirMix, and when they decided to not continue supporting it, they did a rather nice thing in that they took off all of the paid options, included everything, and released it back into the iOS store and Android. And go, have at it, have fun, play with it, do whatever you want. There's no support. There's no future upgrades. There's no please bug fix this. There's none of that. But if it works for you, yay. So there's that as well. In terms of, there's NDI apps, which can work with laptops and work with vMix, which is, I think you can get one NDI input on the $50 version. There's also Wirecast and OBS and all those things out there. Static when you are speaking. All right, so let me turn this down a little bit here, and hopefully that trims the static, although that was 5 minutes ago. Jerome Terry, hey, hello from Pasadena. Thank you very much for chiming in. And Robert Linkrum is in Seal Beach, California. So thank you all for tuning in today. We've actually got a pretty good crowd. It bumped right up there after the show began. And once again, I will be talking about the RGBlink MiniPro today. And that is, hey, Carlos Phoenix just chimed in. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon to you as well. And that is in this box. It says you can remotely control it from an app, which I've downloaded. It's actually pretty nice. USB 3.0 streaming, 4 HDMI inputs, picture-in-picture capable, onboard preview. Yeah, kind of. Transition effects, yes. Joystick control PTZ. I haven't got that to work yet. USB 2.0 record. Yep. Chroma key. Haven't tried that yet. Audio mixer. Interesting. Touchscreen. Yeah. And portable. Definitely. So those are the features of this device. And I've already opened it. I already have it right here on the table. And it's hooked up, as you can see. And it's a diminutive device. So here's an iPhone Pro. I think this is a 12 or a 13. I know the new 16 was just announced. Doesn't matter. Yes, we tweaked the cameras again. Yes, we, now you've got an extra button. I love the fact they give you a camera button as if this has never been seen before. I mean, like Sony's been having a dedicated camera buttons for a decade, and iPhone's like, look, you get a camera button. And I have an Android device, and it's like, ready, tap, tap, and it goes right into camera. So, okay, thanks for finally getting there, Apple. But anyway, I digress. This is the device. You can see you've got an interesting arrangement of 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go overhead. You've got interesting arrangement of 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got stuff going on, and here's your preview. You can see that's actually live. So as I wave my hands, I actually do have a camera right over there. I cannot dim this display. So either this is really dark and you can't see anything, or the display is really bright. I can't equalize the display against the brightness of the device. So it's a little washed out. You've on the top of this thing, let's go back over here. You've got input 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 output. And then over here on the right, you've got USB-A for your recording, which is pretty cool. And then you get a second USB-A, which is just for connecting to computer for ingesting. And they give you an A to A. So this blue cable is A to A, and they give that to you. That's included. They also give you a C to C cable, which comes with the power adapter. And the power adapter is USB-C, and it's probably let's see what I can see here. Yeah, 5 volts, 3 amps, 9 volts, 2.2 amps, 12 volts, 1.67 amps, and another one I don't even recognize at 1.2 amps. I think that's a PD power. So definitely a capable little charger. Comes in the box. They're not basically not relying on you to come up with the charger to charge this. This comes with the charger and the cable, although it feels like a rather thin cable for carrying a lot of voltage. I am powering it via this red cable, which goes to a multi-output 5-volt charger that I've got on my desk here. So that I have powering many things, including the OBSBot, which is providing the camera. So I just have these at the ready because, hey, USB-C is everywhere now, so I just needed to have that at the ready. So that is what's going on these sides. What you can't really see, I'll turn this a little bit. Over here, you have 2 audio inputs. You have a line in right here, 1/8 inch mini stereo, and then you've got headphone / headset. So you could use earbuds with a microphone and have your audio be part of the show by plugging that in right there. Pretty slick. If you don't want to do that and you just want to have headphones and use a separate audio input, they give you this cable. Let me go overhead. They give you this cable, and what this cable does is it gives you the TRRS, tip ring shield, and it goes to a microphone input, or I guess mic level, and then has a separate headphone output for, like a standard set of earphones. So you can separate your audio in from your headphone out via the cable that they include, this little short little cable, and that way you can plug in analog audio from like an audio mixer or something like that. So I mean, I guess technically you could do that with what's here too, but the problem is the microphone is usually on the second ring. So you got tip, ring, sleeve, and a normal headphone. Here's one. A normal headphone, if you don't know, only has tip, ring, sleeve. So you can see the difference there, that extra ring is where the microphone is. So you could still hear stereo just by plugging a regular headset in there, but you don't get the microphone. You lose that. That's why they give you this breakout cable. All right, plug that back in. That headset was plugged into my Instagram. And Carlos jumps ahead and says, the menus on this one kill me. Well, they are, it's interesting. The menus are different depending, they're not different. The usability is different depending upon how you access them, I found. So we will continue with that in a second. What do we got on the other side? Oh, on the other side, let me look from above, is the quarter 20. So you can mount this. There's no quarter 20 on the bottom, which is where I would think it would be. And there's no headset on the front here. There's no jacks at all on the front. And all you have is a slider. And here you'll notice a couple things really jumped out at me at this. Is like, why is the quarter 20 in the side when the weight is in the middle? Because then when you're pushing on the buttons, you're just going to keep pushing on the weight over here, and your mounting point is on the side, as opposed to putting the mounting point in the middle, so that when you push on the buttons, you're pushing against the mounting point. Second thing is, you've got your sources here, and you have a slider that says I'm on this side, I'm on this side. Okay, great. That's all well and good. And the reason you see two reds, two live things, is because I've got a multi-view up. But the thing is, there's not just a cut button, just cut. It's always a transition. Now you can go into the menu and set the transition to be a cut, but you still have to slide this all the way across. You can't just go, 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 which was very interesting to me. Up here, you've got like a zoom rocker. You've got a joystick, which actually clicks as well. You can access your menu. There's your menus. And then over here, you've got shortcuts. So you can set up different views, and you've got your volume, and you might not be able to see it so well, but I can actually, I guess that's the headset volume. You can drag that on the screen. So this little window is a touch screen. And if you want to get to other saved views, you can slide this to the side. There you go. There's your record button. I don't exactly know what that one does yet. I've turned it on, I've turned it off, but okay. And then here is your menus. And then you can go to the second page of menus. Okay, there's another record button, different modes, add a logo, go into the settings. And now the touch screen, see, you can scroll up and down. You get a little scroll bar on the right that lets you know how much you're looking at and where you are in the list. So thankfully that stays there and doesn't keep vanishing like sometimes, like on Mac. Then you can go into your IP setting, which I have set the IP address. I've set it to DHCP. I've gone through certain things. So this is not an official unboxing video and setup video. I'm sort of already got some things set up on this. So I have turned on DHCP. It has figured out its IP address on my local area network. And after 15 seconds, it automatically goes back to your quad split preview. The quad split preview does not include audio levels. There's no audio meters on here. It does not include preview program. It just shows you what's on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're feeding it 16:9, but it's a 4:3 or even square display. So everything on that display is squished. At first, I thought my OBSBot camera right here, I thought that was coming in incorrectly on the HDMI, because I looked at this and I was like, oh my gosh, it's all squished. Oh my goodness, what setting do I have wrong? And then I looked at the actual preview out on this, and sorry, I looked at the actual preview out, which I have right here. And I said, oh, look at that. My camera is fine, as are the other inputs. And then up top at you can see preview and program. Let me go over. Preview and program. And on program, I have a multi-view. So this multi-view of these two sources is being created in the MiniPro. And as I size this one larger, this one squished and properly adjusted itself for an aspect ratio. This is really cool. I haven't figured out how to put a background on it or borders or anything else, but this is actually really useful. I like this a lot. It's not, it also does this, like it actually starts like this. And then in the menus, I took B, A and B, and then I stretched B. And as I stretched B, it got bigger, and then it automatically matched A to the height and cropped it from the sides, which was really cool. I like this a lot. This is a very usable picture-in-picture, much more usable than just putting a box in the corner. That little box in the corner, which should actually also be over here in preview, this is the logo. I turned the logo on, but I don't have a logo loaded in there. So that's where the logo would be if I had a logo. But this is the multi-view out of the MiniPro. And you see the meters here? The meters are very responsive. There's meters on all the inputs down there. And I have to say, that's very impressive as well. Good meters, responsive, in stereo, available visibly on each input. And if I go into the menu and I go to views, no, not views. I don't think that's it. Where was it? Video out, and then my HDMI out. I have preview 1 or preview 2. So it gives you the same multi-view in a different way. Not one that I've used before, but this one is especially interesting because the audio meters are outside of the video window. So they're much easier to see. and they don't cover the video, just giving you visual clutter over the window itself. So that's actually really nice in that here's a view where programs on top, previews down below, your sources are over there on the right because it only has 4 inputs, and you have your audio meters outside of the video windows. So the only thing in the video window is the video that's part of your show. Well, except for you see the save title area on the preview. That's not available in the program. You just see program. On the sources, you just see your source. That I thought was really nice as well. And then, not that you can really see it. Let's go back over here. Right here, 1920 by 1080 at 60, 1920 by 1080 at 60, 1920 by 1080 at 60, 1920 by 1080 at 30. So I'm feeding it different frame rate signals. It's matching them all up. It's doing the camera sync, and it's telling me what they are. It's giving me a status of each of these things. Being a geek like I am, I geek out over that. I like that to know. I mean, technically it might be 59.97, but 60 is close enough. 30, it might be 29.97, but okay, 30. But that I like. It doesn't tell me what my output program is, but it tells me what my inputs are. And then if you go back into the menu, overhead, if you go back into the menu, I was over here on page 2, setting, back, video out. So you can see up at the top it says preview. And when I click on that, I got preview 1, preview 2, and program. So if you just wanted the video output to be program, that's where you would select that. And then you can also have the video out, your HDMI out, just be HDMI 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 3, so that way, if I wanted it to just be me, and here you can see the output of that is this. So this is the output of HDMI 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 3, and HDMI 4. So those are the 4 inputs I have. Here's program. Nope, that's not pro. There it is. Took a second. So yeah, don't try to just do that live. that's like a setting. But this is program. So the HDMI out can be program, or it can be your multi-view. It can't be both. And there's only one. So, the preview here is not very useful. I mean, yes, you can see that you've got 4 video signals. Yes, the frame rate is actually quite smooth on these little previews. I give it that. But it's a tiny little display. It's squished, and it doesn't show you audio levels or things like that. You can't see your picture-in-picture. So like when I go to the actual multi-view, that's my output, but I can't see that in the preview that I've got here. So it's really just like an ingest. This is what I'm seeing on the 4 inputs, but nothing else. And that overhead, that is the way that you see your menus, your shortcuts, and things like that. So if I go into my picture-in-picture, you can see I've got my layout preset. That's what I'm using right there, is the 2 side by side. And then I've tweaked it by coming in here, and I've adjusted it, and I've adjusted the scale. And as I've adjusted the scale, it has changed the output. So that has been very interesting. This does not come out any connection that I have found. It doesn't come out. This does not come out HDMI. So this menu system is available here and on the app, which is actually quite well done, I have to say. Let us go to some comments that have come in. Still says static when I'm speaking. So I don't know where the static is coming from, but I'll try turning down my output again. There we go. Jerome from Pasadena. Good to see you, Jerome. Thanks for tuning in. And I don't see any new questions with regards to the RGBlink. But again, this is a live show. You are here, I am here. And because we are here together, it's like you're standing right here next to me and you have the opportunity to ask questions about this or about anything else. We're in the same room together, essentially. So take advantage of that, and you can throw those questions into the comments, and that's where I will see them. Continuing on, let's go to my overhead. So what I've done here, let's scoot this up. Let me go back in here. And, oh, are you on this side? Does it change? No? Okay. I have the app. And the app you download from the iOS store. I've got the menu system over here. Let's come back out of here. And here it is, the Mini. It searches and it gives you demos. So even if you have nothing connected, you can actually open up a demo and sort of play with it. You can go into the menus, you can learn how it works and everything, try different views. And that's with no device connected. But then when I did a search, it found this one on the local area network. It popped up, so I can select that one. And this is actually this one. So if I move this slider, you see that it moves on the display. Now, it's not motorized, so if I move it here, it does not move up there. it's a one-way connection. So there you go. And then you can see I don't have the joysticks that I have up here on the actual device, but I do have shortcuts. So there's my shortcuts. And if I was on the device and I hit shortcuts, I can only see 4, and then I have to change pages to get to the other 4. And I come back, turn that one off, or go back to view 1, I don't know. And then I haven't set any shortcuts. Let's go back down here. The difference is now you've got page 1 and page 2 all right here. There could be more if they decide to like expand that in software, but all of that's here. So now you don't need to page around as much and deal with the touchscreen. And I have to say the touchscreen on the phone is a lot more responsive than the touchscreen on this device. As you would expect, the phone costs $1,000. I expect the touchscreen to be really good. Wayne Netter says, is an iPad app version available? I didn't check. I will be honest, I didn't check. The RGBlink says, download it on the App Store or get it on Google Play. They do not indicate whether there's an iPad specific app, and I'm going to guess no, but I reserve the right to be wrong. As I said, I'll tell you what I do know. If I don't know something, I'll tell you that I don't know. And I don't know if there's an iPad specific, like more controls all sort of like ready at the ready on there in like a bigger quad split or something like that. I don't know. But as the apps are free, you can go to the App Store with your iPad and go check it out. And as I was saying before, you get the blue cable, A to A, you get the C cable, and you get the power adapter. This is the unit. These are the plugs. Get started with MiniPro. Hey, look, here, I'll hold that up. And now it's blurry. So you can get connected there. And the manual, sorry, I kind of overlooked this. It comes with Chinese, if you speak Chinese or Mandarin, and English. At least my box came with English. I suppose if you purchase it in a different country, it will come. This one will change. So this comes with English, and it actually gets into each of the things. Switch the effects settings, switch the mode setting, your video output, your audio settings, your picture-in-picture, your chroma key settings, your PTZ settings, load. I tried to do the PTZ, not working. Load and save, using a USB stick for recording, and contact information. So there's your support at rgblink.com. So I have to say, in terms of the, tiny little booklet that comes with stuff, this one is actually quite useful. It really does get in there. Yes, the images and the text could be a little bigger. It doesn't have to be as tiny because you've got the size of this whole page, that's empty. But the fact that it is here and there are sections telling you about each of the things on paper before you ever do anything, that's actually really nice. That's a that's a thumbs up from me. What's the name of the app? The app. Oh, what's the name of the app? Okay, let me come out of this. It says here Mini, but when I was in the App Store, thanks for just starting over at the front. Jeez. RGBLINK. There's 3 apps. Expose Mini. So I'm just going to click on the developer button here, and you'll see it says Expose Mini. It's the controller for streaming switchers. Expose 2.0 for video processors, and this other thing, TIO-X. So they have another set of hardware called TIO. And obviously you can see the utilities is the latest release up there. But this is the one I'm using, the Expose Mini. It's got the little M at an angle, and it's not RGB behind it. It's green and blue. Perfect opportunity to reinforce the RGB brand, but I digress. And that's what I have. And then it just says M Mini on here. That's why I had to go back in here to get the name, because here it doesn't say that. And when you go to your desktop, it just says Mini, not Expose Mini. But when you open that up, here you are. Go back into the app. Here I am. Did it not connect? Am I not connected? Oh no, it says my connection status is down here in the corner. It says I am connected, which is interesting because 4 is green here, but it's not green up here. Three is red, 4 is red, 1 is green. So yeah, there's definite some disparity here with regards to the feedback from the app and the device. Not entirely matching. I showed you the shortcuts. We'll exit out of the shortcuts. I mean, even just doing that is nice and smooth. But more importantly, let's get into the menu. Now, up here, you go into the menu, you've got icons, which admittedly are finger friendly. So if you wanted to get into the pip settings, you hit pip, and then you've got a subset. So turn on the pip, your layout preset, you can adjust it and things like that, and come back out with a little back arrow at the top. Coming down here, you've got the pip, and then you've got a drop-down triangle. So now pip gives you layout and picture. So we can go into layout, and then you can pick your layout. So here's my pip, or you've got an off, which, there we go, off. We can turn the pip off, which interestingly enough, let me come back up here. Pip, layout preset, there's no off. The off is separate, it's up here. So the design of these different things are in different places, because you see how here on off has its own on and off. So I turn it on there, and then I come down here. Of course, this didn't reflect that it is on. Turn it on here, and I turn it off. It's not reflecting that it's off up here. So again, the app and the device are not entirely in sync, we're finding. So go to pip here, and then we want to get back out of this. Picture. Which one do you want to work with? The sub. Is that in focus? See if I can focus that a little better. There we go. Sub or main. So you can switch main and sub here. Done. Horizontal position, vertical position, crop width. You got all the different parameters all in a row, which I have to say, having worked with the larger Mini Edge, this is actually way easier to deal with than trying to do things on the Mini Edge, which doesn't have a touchscreen, and going through the menu system is like one item at a time with the little joystick controller. Oh, that was just pulling teeth. This is much, much nicer. Continuing down, your PTZ, camera, brightness. Now, I did actually give it the IP address of the OBSBot that I have here. And let me clear that out. I did give it the PTZ of the OBSBot. And supposedly what that means is enable. Ooh, let's turn it on. Maybe that's why. On. All right. So, oh, that whine that just stopped, that's the fan from the RGBlink. So I'm using the joystick to try and control a PTZ, or maybe zoom in and zoom out. But it may already be allocated to positioning in the picture-in-picture. So let's continue down here and see if I can make it move using these buttons. And it's not moving. So you can see it as I push, put these together, as I push the button here. After having found the IP address of my OBSBot and putting it into the RGBlink, that's the IP address down here. I don't really think I need to set a port because they're both on the same local area network. I'm not reaching somewhere else. But it is not moving, even though I have enabled it, and it is camera 1, or it is input 1. And then, go away. Wow, I don't want the keyboard. I don't want the keyboard. Can you set? I don't see a way to set the previews. There's not a preview button. So you can say set. But there's not a set of like 3 or 4 preview or 3 or 4 preset locations. So you can't move it to a position and say set 1. Move it to a position and say set 2. Now maybe if you come down to see, that would be kind of weird because you could say set, and then you would want to go to view 1. You know, that would be my preset or a shortcut to go to a particular location for the PTZ. But they're on 2 completely different locations of the interface. Views, view control, your key. Like I says, I have not tried the color key. We can give that a shot right now. So I've got, we're going to try green, my green key, done, and turn it on. I don't know what input it's going to be looking at. It's unclear in the key section what input it's affecting. Is it affecting all of them? Is it affecting program? Max, min, and margin. So there's some adjustment to that. I don't suppose you can't tap on the green and then go like click on a color. That would be nice. So let us look at, our sources are still looking green, and let us look at the output, which of course we have to go into the other menu, video out, and set it to preview, and wait for it. There it is. So yes, there it is. It's actually doing a key of input 2. It's not doing a great job, but it's doing it. And I'm going to try to adjust the colors live. So I'm adjusting the current color. No, min. Oops, that definitely had an effect. Okay. Nope. It is very touchy. Oh, I lost this shirt. There we go. It's the background. So I don't seem to be able to improve on his background key. Oh, there it goes a little bit. I'm adjusting the margin. Still lost his shirt though. There we go. I'm bringing down the max. Actually, I'm just holding the minus button. Look at the overhead. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the minus and plus buttons to move the sliders, because the sliders are very small. My finger is bigger than the slider. So making minute adjustments is impossible. And what I'm doing is I'm using the minus button to slowly bring down (32, 31, 30, 29, 20. I'm holding it down, and it's going down by single digits, one at a time, like two numbers a second. So it's not going to zip through the numbers. And I have let go, and it is still going down by itself. 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70. So it's very interesting. Stop going down. If I hit the up button, nope, still going down. Still going down. So I guess it's saved up a lot of taps and is just going by itself. We're going to turn that off while it still counts. Let's continue. The effect. Your T-bar. Dun, 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 dun. You have it set to cut or dissolve or expand. I mean, some of these, are really, I don't get why sometimes it wants to scroll, other times it doesn't want to scroll, and it's annoying. Go away. Especially on a phone where you can't grab it near the top, because then you're grabbing phone stuff. So that's kind of annoying. Maybe there's an iPad app. But here we go. So I have a T-bar. I can have it set to cut. And then if I go to here and I move my T-bar, it cuts. Cut. Cut. I don't know why she's expanded. She shouldn't be expanded. So let us go. So it's cutting between the two of us. Move, cut, move, cut, move, cut, move, cut. And again, look at the overhead. What's going on up here is not reflected. You can see 1 is in preview, 2 is up. Now, you would think there's an A-B going on here with this side and this side, but what's really happening is I'm selecting what the next thing is. It's not a side thing. It's not a left-right thing. It's a preview program bus. So 2 is up, 4 could be next, or 3. Those are the ones that are in preview. So if I go over here, now 3 is up, 2 is next, or maybe 1 is next, or maybe 4. Over here. So you see that the two sides visually are not the way that you're mixing. You're not mixing 1 and 3 versus 2 and 4. It is whatever is live and then whatever's coming up next in preview. And that is where this multi-view really comes into play. You need to know what's in preview, whether it be 4 or 2 or 1. Buttons are not very responsive on the unit itself. Now, if I use the buttons on my phone, that's actually more responsive. 4, 2, 1, 2, 4. Wow, this works like a lot faster. And then I can slide. So 4 is up because I moved over, but this reflected it. There it goes. The communication protocol it's fast. But look at let me scoot this up and do this again. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the phone to do the dissolve. So I'm saying 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. I'm just tapping them lightly, whereas here, 2, 4, 1. The buttons here, I don't know if it's like you gotta Okay, don't hit them fast. Hit them slow. Okay, that's, once you figure that out, okay, hitting them slowly, don't hit them fast, because they will ignore you. It's like my car. My car does the same thing. Now, if I hit 4, 2, 1, you can just tap them lightly here, and they will switch. When I say change, that immediately registers it. This one takes a couple seconds. And I say, oh, we're going to go to 1. Ready? Go. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There, now it registered. So it's very interesting that moving the slider is very responsive, but updating the color of the icons is not. If I say 1, 2, that one actually went pretty fast. Waiting for 3, there it goes. And if I move the slider, you see the difference between live and the phone. There's definitely a timing thing. And if I move this, the slider moved immediately, but the color of the icon still took time to change. And I know from looking at this, when I move the slider, it's move the slider, click, move the slider, click, move the slider, click. And to see this thing say, move the slider, waiting, there, click. It's definitely behind in displaying what's going on the phone, even though the movement of the slider is like within milliseconds of moving the physical slider. So I don't understand why there's a timing difference here. Anyway, what I was going to show is, I have it set to cut so that when you move it across, cut. You move it across, cut. When you reach the end of the slider, it cuts. If I go to dissolve and I move the slider, you can see that let me go to 2. It takes its sweet time. 3. I mean, you can go fast too, but it's still going to dissolve at the rate at which you've set in here. So I can say the time is going to be, I'm trying to, no, it's not listening to me. Oh, there it goes. 5 seconds. Ready? Go. Let's see if it, go. That is not 5 seconds. Nope, that is not 5 seconds at all. And if I bring it down to 1.6 seconds, I say go. That's the same length of time. That is the same exact length of time. And cut. But you also got all these other zoop from the corner, left to right wipe. You can expand from the middle, go into the middle, multiple Venetian blinds. So you've got some wipes going on here, although I keep saying I really don't understand, right? I'm trying to get back up to the top, and if I grab from the top of the screen, it brings down the Apple interface. No. That is a real pain in the butt. That this piece moves independently of the rest of the pieces, so that if you go too far, then all of a sudden it decides to take, like I can't go down. I have to move it this way. Come on, come on. Trying to move to the next thing. See, that is a problem. Okay, audio. There we go. Output is on, mic is off, line is off. So I guess if you choose line, Can I then choose mic as well? That would be interesting because you only have one input. So I don't understand why you would choose mic and line at the same time. Delay, having a delay on your analog input is critical. Thankfully, there's one here. I can't speak to how well it works. I've just seen it here for the first time. HDMI 1, you can see levels. Which audio input do you want to have connected? So it says I've got HDMI 1. We can turn audio on for that. Audio follows video. Audio follows video is on, so the audio is off because that's not the one that's in program. Audio follows video there really needs to be a better grouping, like a different color or a line in between each of these things to know where one stops and two stops. Because once you start getting in the middle, you're like, well, wait a second. So if I turn this off, I can turn that on. Oh, that's that one. 4 is on. 3 is on. 2 is on. And then I can adjust the levels here. Now, it's not giving you any meters, so you don't know here what's going on. You're going to need to look at your preview, which is the only place you've got your meters. So here's my meter on 1. And if I use now my phone to go to HDMI 1, and then I turn that volume up, you'll see that that volume is now peaking. And if I turn that volume, if I grab that thing and I turn that volume down, you'll see that volume is much lower. Can I turn it down? Yep, all the way. There we go. So you can indeed adjust your audio levels, but unlike the other menu, what I'm not seeing here in my audio menu is the little arrow icons to tweak it up and tweak it down. Remember, we were up here a little bit, and with the green screen, I got a little slider, but I've got buttons to go up a little bit, little, down, 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 down. It's actually still going down. It's still moving. 822, 821, 820. Okay. It would be nice to see those with the audio sliders as well, to have little arrows at the end that would enable us to, I just want to turn it up a little bit. And when it's under your finger, can you even see where it is? No. So that's, that would be a nice feature to have. You can see HDMI 1 has a delay. 2, 3, and 4 do not have delays. And the analog input has a delay. So "30 milliseconds would be 1 frame at 30 frames a second. And I don't know why these buttons are just green borders and these are solid green. Oh, there we go. Look, I fixed it. And also, did it again. Up here on other areas, your PTZ, you've got a reset. So you've got your focus, reset, zoom, reset. I think resets should be common in that you should be able to reset your green screen. And if you make a delay adjustment, you should be able to hit reset to that. Or your HDMI input, you know, it's like, oh, okay, I moved to the wrong place. Oh, I plugged in something else. Let me just reset it to like normal, wherever normal is, because there's no numbers, there's no indication on here at all. So I have no idea where 0 dB is. So while it says it has an audio mixer, you can adjust audio levels, but I would not necessarily call this a mixer without the ability to minutely make changes, the ability to know what the setting is, and the ability to, you know, see the levels that you're adjusting. And given the delay between communication of the dots and audio, I think that's probably not going to be possible. Video out. We talked about how you can, your HDMI or your webcam. Ooh, that's cool. So on your webcam, you can output program at 1080p 60, or 1280-70 at 50 hertz, or 1280-70 at 60, or 1280 by 1024 or 1360 by 768. Very interesting to have like computer resolutions here. So let's keep it at 1920 by 10, 23, 24, 25, 2997. Interesting, that makes a differentiation between 2997 and 30 here, but apparently not on the inputs. So that's interesting. So we'll go with, let's just go with 30, done. So there's my output there, and I say set, and then my output can be program, preview, or TP. I don't know what TP is. If somebody else knows what TP is, put that in the comments. Done. Oh, not preview, program. Done. And then my HDMI out, which we talked about before, I can do preview, program, TP, and then my HDMI sources as well. Interesting that here in this menu, it just says preview. Done. Sound column and viewfinder. Oh, okay, so that's the overlay. So if we go to this, I can turn that overlay off, which is good for centering graphics and things like that. But it's nice you can turn it off. And then the sound column, you can turn off the audio meters. So if you have somebody just feeding you audio from an audio mixer and they're taking care of it, personally, I love seeing audio meters on my program. Like I'm using Restream, and I always want to see an audio meter on the edge of the frame here, just so that I have confidence that the audio is still going, what the levels are and everything. That doesn't exist. I necessarily wouldn't get rid of the sound columns, but I can see getting rid of them as overlays and clearing that off. So now the person who's just doing the video can concentrate just on the video and have somebody else worry about the audio. So that is nice. That feature is available here. But again, like I was saying, if you're up here and you go into this and you scroll over and you're going to your video output, your HDMI out, you have preview 1 and preview 2. Here you have preview, not 1 or 2. So different things going on in these two. Press and hold. There's a video out, preview, and you can see it did take the change. You can see all your settings there. Should be able to scroll. Interestingly, this menu does not give me a little scroll bar on the right, and I just clicked on something to let me know where I am in the list and that it can scroll, whereas the other menu did. Like that one. See, that one has that little blue bar on the right to let me know I can scroll and where I am in the list. Then when I click on the format list, that scroll bar goes away and I have no idea where I am in the list. That's inconsistency. I don't like inconsistency like that. HDMI, a DVI is on, sound column is on, viewfinder is on. Same controls we have over here on the phone. Scroll back down. The webcam is program. Let's check that. See if it is limited to the same 3. Yes, same 3 that the phone is limited to, and it always jumps back at the top of the menu. So let's go back down. LCD info. I don't know, I hit the LCD info and things went away. Oop, okay, now it's on, I guess. So I wonder if that changes what's on this LCD. Oh, there's my shortcuts. Menu. You can switch between shortcuts and menu by swiping on the monitor itself without pushing the buttons. but I think I've managed to get it so that I don't see my show. I don't see a way to exit the show or exit to my actual inputs. Very interesting. Let's continue on. Let's see if that resets by itself after 15 seconds, and we'll continue down to record. You can see record audio. Yeah. The quality low, medium, and high. There it goes. Ah, that is the LCD info. That is what I was saying. Being able, why is it changing? Why is it? You can't really see it, but I've got red and green, and they're moving on their own. Ba-doop, ba-doop, boop. Now this one's red. Now that one's red. It went do-do. Now this one's red. That one's red. Do-do. This one's red. I don't know what it's doing. And then I've lost input 4. That's interesting. Let us look at the multi-view. Oh, did I lose my multi-view by turning that on? Interesting. And also, while that's doing its own little thing, its own little dance there, also the phone app seems to have become non-responsive. Oh, I lost it. That is interesting. So let me go back into the menu if I can. Video out. It was all the way down here at the bottom. Turn the LCD info off. Reconnect on the phone. And then see if my multi-view is back. Wow. So showing feedback on the little display of this means that you lose the multi-view, apparently. Also, this one shows that I have 4 inputs, but my top view doesn't. So certain things need to be worked out on this. Firmware needs an update. Sorry, I've been ignoring everyone. Comments coming in. Menus on this one kill me. iPad app available, yes. Use a stylus pen, perhaps. That could be, but yeah, it's a very tiny display on the actual thing, because you can see like my finger is pretty large. I can take, my finger is as big as one of the inputs here. So going into the menu, this is finger friendly, but still when you go into your different settings, you've got this and it's not as finger friendly. So a stylus or a pen that has one of those little touch capacitive ends, that would probably help in terms of navigating through this. However, when designing the phone app, you can actually make these any size you want. So they can make each of these big, a little thicker. And then when you come in here, these little buttons don't have to be this small. They can be as big as they want so that they fit your finger. And as long as the item that you open doesn't have a vertical scroll on it, it works as if you would expect, except for that. So you go to pip, here's your 2 things, here's your views. Now you can see, there's my scroll bar. I would love to see the scroll bar stay there, but it doesn't, it goes away. That's an Apple thing. And that goes away. But you can see how I can pull that up and down. If I go into something that has more items, so it's kind of like a sub scroll. Oh, now it's not going to do it. There it goes. Now all of a sudden I'm scrolling this piece and not the whole menu, and I can't, it makes going back up go away harder. Oh, then no. So you kind of have to use this part and maybe flick it to get around the problem of this being a sub scroll as opposed to just displaying in its entirety and always being anchored to the rest of this menu. Collapse it, audio, like this one. See this one? It doesn't do a sub scroll. It just shows a bunch of data that I have to scroll through if I want to get through it. And it's always anchored to the menu. Whereas, or you can just be changing things as you go clicking through it. Close it, you go back to effect, you come down here, and now I'm stuck in this quicksand. Nope. Nope. There we go. Oh, that's annoying. So let me close effect. So definitely work that can be done on how they've got that being implemented. Last thing we didn't get down to, we went to recordings, low, medium, high, done. Disk info, it shows me how much I've got on the disk. Now let's turn the record on. There you go, I'm turning the record on. There's no record indicator on the device anywhere. That would be nice, a little red dot would be great. Let me know I'm recording. I guess if you have media that blinks, that would be a good sign that something is being written, but this one does not. This one's by the tiny little company called SanDisk. They hardly make any media. So that one doesn't blink. But I'm recording, 24 seconds. Close that. Settings. All right. We have your input info, like I was saying before. You got 30, 60, 60, 60. It tells you right there. Same thing we saw on the multi-view. Over there, you can see at the bottom, it gives me the input information for each of my inputs down there. Version info. I'm wondering if that's the version of the device and not this app. I guess. LAN network config. So it says DHCP. There's my masking gateway. Don't hack me now. Reset everything. Test pattern out over USB. Ooh, so I can set a test pattern out over HDMI. Nice. Done. Color bars. So is that happening now? Let's go. No, it's not, because I'm looking at the HDMI out. Oh, it says color bar. Oh, wait. Let's go ahead. So it says HDMI test pattern is off. It originally said color bar. Done. Now it says color bar. So I should have color bars on the output. And there's my color bars. And then I can switch color bar or solid color. And then it gives me the ability to adjust the color like that. So I can create a color output or color bar or off. Off. Done. So then it should give me my multi-view again. It does. Close that. Test pattern. Password protection. Enable password on the device. And T-bar connect correction. Push the T-bar to the right, to the left, I guess just to recalibrate it. So there's not a lot going on in the general settings. There's information about your inputs, which you can see on the multi-view. There's information about the version, I guess, of the hardware of the MiniPro. Your LAN settings, your language, reset everything, test pattern, password protection, and T-bar correction. So that's general settings that hopefully you never really have to go into. The idea that you have a 4-input, the appeal of this, I think, is that you've got a 4-input switcher in this tiny little interface. Now, if you're going to be switching it yourself, that you don't want to be on mic like I am, because you could probably hear the fan from this. The fan is very audible. But if you are switching another show, then switching your inputs 1, 2, 3, 4 and using the slider, I feel, it does that. You can go to 1, 1, go to 4, 4, and you have the ability to go back and forth between 2. So if you've got 2 cameras in sort of like some sort of corporate or moderator or a wide angle and a close, you could just have 1 and 2. Let's go 1 and 2. So you got two inputs, and it's a simple, you don't even have to look at it. You just say go and go. But again, I would just love, you know, I'm not a T-bar person. You know, I'd love to have auto or cut. Have two different buttons so that if I'm going to go to input 4 that has a video playback from a laptop, I can say, okay, 4 is next, and do a dissolve to the video and a dissolve back out of the video to my camera, and then cut. Everything else is just cut, cut, cut. And I could just go 2, cut, 3, cut, 4. I don't have to keep moving this back and forth. And then of course you need to remember where it was, so you don't go, oh wait, no, it's over here, I need to go this way. I'm just not a T-bar person. Maybe it works for other people. It doesn't work for me so much. But size-wise, this is very compact. If you can get this to control your PTZ camera, you could see it there. Alternatively, you could use the PTZ app on your phone to, let's see if we can get to the OBSBot. You know, I can go to the camera app on my, actually I go up and down because it rotates. So I can go down here and have the OBSBot app on my phone, and then I can go into cropping and zoom in further and reframe the shot. Come on, move. There you go. So you can see it moving. I can do that here in the app and affect the shot that's happening right here in the preview, and then come all the way back out, boom, cut. And also in the app, you can set presets too. You can have it preset positions, or if you are going to zoom in on a shot like that, you can close that, and then you could go to different scenes. So it's like I can have this shot, I can cut to the wide, I can cut to the close, I can cut to the wide. And this works in the OBSBot because it's not an optical zoom. It's always taking the wide, and you can crop in on it, but the wide is always still there. So you can always cut between the wide and the close. So that's pretty handy in terms of the OBSBot. Other PTZ cameras, you're going to need to have a way to set your presets and then go to them. One, disconnect, done. Let me go over here, and you know, you could always use Bird Dog NTI PTZ control if you've got a Bird Dog camera. Set your presets in here. I don't have a Bird Dog camera set up for today's show. YOLO NDI. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to control that. That'll be funny. Is the NDI really on that? It is. I'll turn it off. No. Oh, look at that. Go back in. Go back in. And being able to have a separate device to control your cameras also allows you the ability to say, someone else, you do that, and you set those cameras, and then you've got your saved presets, which I didn't see in the RGBlink, to be able to say, okay, this where it's at right now, we're going to save this as 1, and then move the camera, and then save this as 2. I didn't see that in here as well. So while you can adjust a camera and it is handy, I don't think without presets, I don't see that being a very useful feature in this device where you can, you know, call up a preset, especially if you know, it'd be nice if it's like, okay, I'm going to go to here, go to view 2, and I can see it on the multi-view and then cut to it or fade to it. That would be handy, because then you're using this in conjunction with your multi-view output, which is that. So you can see it change, and then here on the shortcuts, you've got the buttons, or on the app, because you had those, all 8 of those buttons, you had all 8 of them on the app. And the other thing on the app is they don't jump back to the multi-view after 15 seconds, which you can adjust in a setting, but you know, you'd be hard pressed to like, oh, damn, now I got to go back in, and nope, it's on page 2. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Page 2. Okay, yeah, go to this one. So that can be a little problematic to get there if you're doing that, trying to do that live. It is showing that I am still recording, which is good. And I'm going to turn that off. So that is your record indicator. If you're here in Shortcuts on page 2, then you can see that you're recording. Hey, maybe just make the menu thing light up red. I don't know if it has a light on it. But that is, I think, completes my view of this thing. A question came in: can and control 4 OSBot where the OSBot deck only does 3? I didn't get this switcher to control the 1 OSBot. So and it does not store settings that I can see. It does not store preset positions that you can go between. I did not see a way to do either of those things in the RGBlink MiniPro. So the OSBot deck only does 3. I think that's 3 more than the RGBlink MiniPro does. Now, you could use the software, but the software only connects to 1 camera at a time, but it does give you the ability to save those presets and touch between them. So if you have like a couple different tablets, and I've talked about this in other videos, where you can have multiple, I use the Amazon Fire tablet. You know, you can get them sometimes for like $60, $80. And then that's your control surface for that device remotely. But again, you're going to be doing that over the local area network. So if you've got Ethernet there and it's Wi-Fi to the tablet, you need like a Wi-Fi hotspot right where you are so that you have a reliable connection to operate those controls. And also remember that if you have that open and it's showing you preview video and you have multiple tablets doing that, you're increasing traffic around the network of each of those devices. Whereas if you just had the remote for the OSBot talent, that little physical control surface can control 3 OSBot cameras and switch between them very quickly and save 3 presets for each of those cameras. So you can be like, camera 1, go to 1. And then camera 2, go to 3. Camera 3, go to 1. You could do that as fast as I'm saying it on that little remote. And there's not really a faster way to control the OSBots unless you go to a dedicated NDI PTZ camera control surface. BirdDog has one, other companies have them. And then you're able to connect, 4 or more cameras and have 8 presets for each device. But then you need to be communicating with the camera via NDI and have that activated. You will not be passing video from the camera, although I have seen remote control devices that do have video from the device. Hopefully that's the low bandwidth channel. But without the video, then you're just sending commands, and it's very low bandwidth as opposed to pulling video from each of these cameras. Thank you for the question. I believe that does wrap up what we got going on today. Wow, 1 hour and 36? Wow, I did not think it was that long. I do thank you all for being here and joining me for these shows. If you have suggestions for future shows, feel free to shoot me an email, comment on the videos, or of course you can always find me on YouTube right over here. And there's a community section there where I make various posts about setups and things like that. And you can comment on different things. Where do bad rainbows go? To Prism. It's a light sentence, but it gives them time to reflect. You can always join me there on the StreamTEK channel. StreamTEK YouTube page is available. You've got the AirMix page if you're interested in that app. And Streaming Media Producers, where I write and have written for over 15 years. I am not at IBC, which is, I think, this week. So IBC in Europe is the International Broadcasters Convention. I am not there this year. I was there last year. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll be able to get to NAB again next year. You can always reach me at stream4.us. And lastly, if you like what I do here, feel free to check out my Patreon. Whatever. That thing. You know what it is. I just can't say it right. It's a mental leap that I have. And I look forward to seeing you all next week here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, take care.